Superintendent Zykowski, President Gonzalez, members of the board, faculty and staff of North Brunswick Township High School, and members of the class of 2020. It is annually my privilege to represent all the people of North Brunswick in congratulating you on your graduation. This year, your graduation means more to our township than usual. Your graduation is both symbolic and concrete proof that even in the continuing midst of a crisis that interrupts, upends, and disrupts our lives, we do have the ability to overcome and to move forward. The class of 2020 is the class that will forever be remembered as the class that wore masks during the last few months of their senior year. In these few short months, members of this class have been called upon to sacrifice like no other in recent generations. And you've been called to heroic service, not only by the pandemic, but also as your class and those of your generation lead our country and the world to stand up, to take action, and to acknowledge that Black Lives Matter. You may know of the Lone Ranger and his Native American friend Tonto. He is a fictional character, masked Texas Ranger, who in radio programs, television shows, and in one mediocre movie has fought outlaws and stood for justice in the American Old West. Since he was first introduced to radio audiences 87 years ago, the Lone Ranger has stood by a creed, and that creed states that to have a friend, you have to be a friend, that all men are created equal, and that every man has it within himself the power to make this a better world. That being prepared is important physically, mentally, and morally to fight when necessary for what is right. In your resolve and your determination to persevere throughout the coronavirus, you have inspired our township and those who know you. In your determination to find justice for George Floyd, to make it clear that Black Lives Matter, you have shown heroic leadership. 2020 will be a year everyone around you will always remember. But just as happened at the end of each Lone Ranger episode on television and radio, when people asked, who was that masked class that stood strong and helped us survive the coronavirus? Who was that masked class that took inspiration from George Floyd's killing and changed our world? People will look at one another and they will say with respect and awe, that was the class of 2020.